Well, hey, and welcome to another episode of Beetle Dustino, coming at you today with yet another video. And let me start off first by saying Happy New Year to all. All right, let's hope 2024 brings us a great year and hopefully some more Beatles. All right, but let's take a look at what we got for 2023. Stay tuned. Well, hey, and let's look back at the Beatles from 2022 to start out with, and then we'll get into 2023. And of course, we did start out riding on the coattails of the Get Back docuseries and the Let It Be special edition from 2021. We did get right away in January 28th, it was released, the Get Back rooftop concert. It was only available streaming, and we do want this on physical media. So Universal Music, Apple Music, all the powers that be, please, we beg of you, release this on physical media. Surprise us for 2023 with this. Let's do it. At least a vinyl edition. At least a vinyl edition. That's the most we can ask for. I mean, if you want to do a CD, great. I will happily buy both the vinyl and the CD. There's one customer on record stating it right now, and I can guarantee you there's going to be plenty others when they hear that will say, yes, I will too. Because us Beatles fans, we love our physical media. The streaming stuff is a joke. I haven't even listened to it. How about that? I've looked it up, I've thought about it, but once you get it on a physical media, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to enjoy it, light up the incense, turn on the lava lamp, and I'm going to listen to it. But anyways, off of that, and let's keep going on with the look back here. We also had the rooftop concert released theatrically on IMAX, which was really our only kind of Get Back theatrical release that we did get. That was pretty cool for those of us that got an IMAX near us. I have no IMAX anywhere near me, but everybody that did get to go see it in person, I absolutely had a fun time. I watched all your videos. I watched everybody's videos and saw how much fun you had. I love that they gave a little swag going to it. That was kind of cool. Wish I could have had something near me that I could have went and checked it out too, but I guess that's what we get living here in the North Country, I guess. So, and then, first one I've actually got something I can show you. We got in July, and it was rumored forever, but we finally got the Get Back docuseries on Blu-ray and DVD. Of course, here's the Blu-ray package. Very nice package. And we'll show you this one day, but I just want to use this as a prop for right now. And then, of course, we had to wait a bit for the next round, but in October, and everybody knows this one, October 28th, we got the fantastic Revolver Special Edition set on the vinyl set, the big CD set, the smaller CD sets, the smaller vinyl sets, well, just the single vinyl set. But yeah, this beautiful, beautiful box here. Absolutely love it. Have really been enjoying it. And of course, what are we going to expect for 2023 from the Beatles? Kind of the what if section on this, I guess we'll call it. I know there is talk of a Peter Jackson film coming out based on the Beatles yet. I'm not sure if it's going to be another documentary. I know I have said in a past video, if you've all seen it, that I talked about the Beatles in India, being that there was that little teaser kind of in the Get Back series. And, you know, I kind of said that as just having some fun. I don't really think that's what it is. It is something I'd be interested to maybe see, but I wouldn't want to see Peter Jackson putting his efforts towards it. I'd want, you know, maybe just some documentaries like I show and I originally talked on it. Maybe just let those cover it. My true thought is what Peter Jackson's working on, and the fact that they just called it a project. They didn't really say, was it, you know, a documentary or another, you know, something like that docuseries. I think he's working on possibly, and this is just pure speculation and theory, just want to see what everybody else thinks, see if anybody else is thinking like me on this, possibly authorized biopic. I'm hoping it would be spread over several films, that they would do it properly and do it epically like Peter Jackson is known to do. Maybe start, you know, in the early Quarrymen days and move all the way up to the breakup through a trilogy, something like that. The Beatles story, and I think the reason why it's never been done too much, or at least not done right, is there's so much to cover and it's got to be done right. I think Peter Jackson might be the guy to do it, and that's possibly what he's working on. Will it happen in 2023? I doubt it. But that's one speculation that could be out there. The other one that I know for sure we're probably going to get is going to be another remix by Giles Martin and Sam O'Kell. What will it be, though, is the big question. I know Beatly Tone had a video back, I believe his came out around Thanksgiving, talking about what we kind of should expect in 2023. And he said his safe money was on a Rubber Soul remix. I agree, that's probably safe money on that. They did Revolver. It feels like they might go backwards now. But we are hitting the 60th anniversary of two of their earlier albums with 2023. So we got With the Beatles and Please Please Me. Now, would they do like a 1963 60th anniversary box set and just include the two albums together? I don't know how much bonus material you could get off of those. One thing they could do is do like some BBC performances, maybe some live performances, clean those up and include those as some bonus stuff, just stuff that came out from that year. It's kind of a thought there with that. I would guess we are going to get another remix album in some form, whether it be that 60th anniversary type set like that, or just continue going backwards and do Rubber Soul. That would be, to me, the one I'd be the most excited for. As for my guesses for Beatles releases, that would be about it. Like I said earlier, as I was going on there, got on my soapbox about releasing the physical media, the rooftop concert. That would be a very nice little thing to have. Nice, affordable way to get maybe the year started. Something that's already kind of prepped and set up, and all I got to do is just cut the records, right? Let's see what happens. But anyways, let's move on to Paul McCartney next. He had a decent year. Not quite the year I think we were all hoping we'd get, but I guess we get what we get and we don't throw a fit, right? But his first step into the year in physical media was Record Store Day Song of the Year, Women and Wives. As the Beatles kind of ran the coattails of Get Back and Let It Be, he's running the coattails of McCartney 3. Of course, this 12-inch single came out for Record Store Day, kind of that part 2 Record Store Day from earlier in the year. June 18th would have been released. And so there's our first on the McCartney sets. Of course, we did get right away kind of a rumor that Back to the Egg was coming out. Not London Town, Back to the Egg was the strong rumor. Of course, with his tour and everything, we did get some kind of hints at it in the tour programs and some of the merchandise. There might be something coming out with Back to the Egg here. And I think everybody was expecting an archive release to be announced. And since the last one was in July of 2020, no, we got announced a reissue. Still riding the coattails of McCartney 3. We got McCartney 1, 2, and 3, the box set. Now, I absolutely love this box set. I feel like there's a place for it, yes. And I happily bought the colored vinyl version, which is what this is here. And I also got the CD set. Yeah, we got another issue of McCartney and McCartney 2 and McCartney 3. But, you know, it is a trilogy, and a trilogy should be in a box set like this. So I think that's cool. I mean, I'm a Star Wars fan too. I wouldn't want to just own, you know, episode 4, 5, and 6 individually. I want them in a nice box set. So there we go. Paul was not done with us yet, of course. Coming out on December 2nd, so one of our more recent releases on this, we did get that fantastic 7-inch singles box. And I'll have the picture up there. A little out of my price range, so unfortunately I did not get it. I'd love to see, and I've kind of seen some comments on other people's videos and stuff, I'd love to see a CD set of this released. One of my commenters said, that's the Rolls Royce that went out right now. We're waiting for the Chevy and the Ford. So let's get that Chevy and Ford package out there, MPL and Universal Music. Let's do it. Just release a CD version of it. It'll still be a decent sized box set. It's going to be several discs to get 159 songs onto it, but that would be kind of a cool little set. And, you know, wouldn't have to be as fancy as that. Just do a nice cardboard box and maybe try to replicate the wooden box maybe a little somehow, but I don't know. I'd happily get one of those. I've got a theory too. I'll throw out my other theory here, and I don't know if it'll happen next year or not, but I don't think we're done with that wooden box set yet. I got a feeling, you just hold out, there's going to be another, maybe it'll only be 2,000 released this time, but a limited edition version on colored vinyl. Can you imagine 80 different colored vinyl singles there? That would be pretty amazing, and possibly There might be something like that. Now that's wild speculation. And so is the CD set, to be frank. But and of course that was available streaming too. So I shouldn't give it that there isn't a Chevy and a Ford option there. But I don't know what we'd call that, a Yugo option. If streaming is going to be compared to anything automotive wise. Of course, he also had his Got Back tour. Of course, with the Got Back tour too, there was the Glastonbury set where he headlined. So that was a pretty big thing for 2022 for him. Will he be touring again in 2023 or even 2024? I don't know. We'll have to see. That might have been the last. And what a way to kind of end it off with that Glastonbury set. What should we look forward to for 2023? Well, as I've got written on my notes, archive. Come on, MPL and Universal Music, let's get that next archive collection out. We want it bad. The logical option, of course, is going to be London Town and Back to the Egg as soon as you can, but we still got to give you my regards to Broad Street floating out there, Press to Play, Off the Ground. Possibly we could see Trippin' the Live Fantastic, MTV Unplugged series there. I think all those would make great archive editions. I believe that with what we've been getting so far, those would all fit into it. I'd love to see them, and I'd love to get my next archive collection. I've really been looking forward to it. Another possibility, something he hasn't done since 2019, and I'd really like to see it come back, is the colored vinyl reissues. A lot of those seem to kind of follow the archive collections that had been out and kind of reissuing them again a few years later. This time with a colored vinyl option, seeing as there is no colored vinyl that comes out with the archives. So if they're doing kind of 4 at a time on this, there is set up right now 4 archive collections that have not been in this colored vinyl reissue. I did do that what if video on this a while back, but I'll state it again. We got Flowers in the Dirt, Wildlife, Red Rose Speedway, and Flaming Pie. So you're teed up for your next kind of set of 4 on that. I'd love to see all those on colored vinyl. I think they could do some pretty fun colored vinyls with all those albums. Let's see if we can get those out. Another kind of possibility is possibly a live album. I know Beatles Tone was kind of championing the Glastonbury set. That could be an interesting option there. I'd love to see that, released on vinyl in the CD package. Another one that kind of an older one that is out there, I kind of feel like they did set it up for possibly a physical media release, but when he was doing for the Egypt Station album, the promotions for that, and he did that kind of pop-up concert in Grand Central Station. And the fact that Giles Martin was one of the sound engineers on that and back recording it, I've always wondered if they were going to do a live album on that. I think it would be a pretty good live album. I really have enjoyed watching that. I go back, several of the songs that he performed in there, I think were pretty cool. Of course, 3-5 Seconds. Him performing that live there. It's one of the few places I know that's available to listen to officially. I know the whole Blackbird thing with him flubbing it up. I'd love to have that as a album, a live album. I think that was a fun moment and a really kind of cool thing. And I think it would come out great, even on a vinyl record. So that would be one I'd like to see kind of as a live album option. Again, wild speculation on that, but you never know. Tomorrow never knows, right? And I would say the one thing I could almost for sure predict would be, they've done it ever since he's been with Universal Music. He's been hitting the 50th anniversary of a few albums so far. So of course you had McCartney, Ram, and Wildlife so far have all had their 50th anniversaries, and all 3 of them have faithfully been issued for the 50th anniversary of the Half Speed Master. And I would say we're safe to say we're going to see Red Rose Speedway and Band on the Run in 2023 on a Half Speed Master reissue. Those sound great, they're fun to collect and easy to collect, and I'd love to see that series continued. We will move on now to Ringo. Ringo had quite a year, actually. I mean, not a ton, but it seemed like all of it came out at once, though. So, of course, in September, we did get his 3rd EP of these recent EPs he's been doing. We got EP3. Of course, in September, we did not get the vinyl. We got the CD and streaming available, and that was on September 16th. The vinyl, the 10-inch vinyl here, and the cassette did come out a little bit later in November 18th. And keeping in November, Black Friday Record Store Day. I don't know, RSD. I don't think it stood for Record Store Day anymore. I think it was Ringo Starr Day. Of course, we got the Live from the Greek Theater double album. And this is on colored vinyl too, and I believe this has been the only place so far you've been able to get the LP on this, and it possibly will be the only place to get the LP as that Record Store Day release. So of course this came out and the same day, not exclusively for Record Store Day, but you did get the 2 CD set of this, the 2 CD plus a Blu-ray set, which I've got. There was also just a standalone Blu-ray and a standalone DVD option on it too. Few options on this, and that, to me, this was kind of big because this was the first All-Star Band release in a decade, I think. So that was pretty cool to get, and getting to see his newer band represented here. So, and of course, not only for the Record Store Day did you get the Live at the Greek Theater, but there was also the Old Wave reissue on both the colored vinyl and the very limited edition CD, the mini LP CD. There was also a reissue of Ringo the Fourth on the orange and the blue vinyl. And then, of course, not just physical media-wise, but his tour. He did have the All-Star Band tour going, and he did not have much luck with it, poor Ringo. Of course, first it was Steve Lukather and one of the other guys had got COVID and they had to cancel some shows. And then everybody knows my woes on this. I was supposed to see him in Prior Lake, Minnesota back in early October. I think it was October 2nd, I want to say. I was one of the first shows to get canceled. It was the show before the one I was supposed to see him at had got canceled too. And then it was very for sure by the time our show came up that it was not going to happen. And he unfortunately got COVID too. I know he hit the road again. I think he played Seattle and Portland a few weeks later, missed his whole entire swing up into Canada, but was able to come and do those 2 shows and came down with COVID again. So he did not have a lot of luck with that tour, unfortunately. I really got a sense that he might not tour again after that. Which is really sad. I was really hoping to get to see him again. I have got to see him once. I saw him back in 2018. I'm very happy that I got to see him at least that one time. That was a very fun concert. I really enjoyed it. I was really looking forward to seeing him again. It was pretty much the same lineup as what I saw, but a couple of new additions in there. Anyways, what should we expect from Ringo for 2023? Well, we do got his biggest solo album is in his 50th anniversary. And how cool would that be to get a nice big deluxe, super deluxe type box set with Ringo, the album. Of course, all the Beatles have performed on this. It's one of the few albums, if not the only album, post the Beatles' career that all 4 Beatles appeared on. Unfortunately, not all together, but hey, anything will work for getting them all back together, right? Yeah, some fantastic music on that album. Of course, it's one of his greats, and I think that would sell pretty well. I'd love to see a super deluxe type set on that. Are we going to get some more EPs from him too? That's the route I'd like to see. I know everybody's kind of got this fear that he's had these 3 EPs out now. There's 10 songs between the 3 of them. Are they going to do some crazy compilation and add like another bonus track to make it 11 or 12, put out this compilation just featuring the EPs? I hope they don't. I don't think that they will. I just expect maybe another 4 or 5 songs from Ringo, new songs to come out. And I'd like to just kind of see that continued. I wish the prices were quite what they are on it, but so moving on to John Lennon. Well, what did we get from the John Lennon camp? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But we did have a rumor for sometime in New York City, a very strong rumor, seemed to be very well backed on that. And what happened to it? I don't know. Are we going to get it for 2023? I sure hope so. But we also got Mind Games' anniversary for 2023. So who knows? I kind of did what we got from him and what the speculation is right there. That's about it. I'm expecting at least a Mind Games Ultimate Mix. I don't know if whatever happened with sometime in New York City means we're not getting it at all. I'd like to see both of them done. I'd happily get both of them, especially if they stick to the formula they've been doing with the other Ultimate Mixes so far. I absolutely love those boxes. They're great boxes, the size of them, the price of them, everything is great. And I'd love to see that continued on with his other albums, including sometime in New York City. So John Lennon's camp, if you're hearing this, please get it out there. We want to see it. So moving on to the last Beatle, we got George Harrison. Again, not much from him, but kinda. We did get in November, right around November 29th, which was his day of passing, we did get the concert for George, the 20th anniversary of that. They did theatrically re-release it, again, in limited theaters, so Of course, none of them near me. So I didn't get to go see it. I really would have went and saw this too if it was anywhere near me, even down in Fargo. It's not too terrible of a drive. I would have loved to have went and seen it, but what can I do? Already announced and out there coming for 2023, the one for sure we know, even more for sure than the half-speed masters from Paul McCartney, there is going to be the new Dolby Atmos and 5.1 whatever. I don't have any of it, so it doesn't really get me too whatever, but the Concert for George is coming out with a new audio mix on that, with probably the new mix they had done for the theaters. They're just going to put it on an audio Blu-ray and get that released, and that is through Super Deluxe Edition is the only place you can get it, and you might not even be able to get it anymore. I think it might have sold out, but that is going to be releasing on February 24th of 2023. Then the other thing that I do expect we probably will see is a Living in the Material World 50th anniversary remixed box set, much like the All Things Must Pass one that we got a couple of years ago. Of course, it is the 50th anniversary. So far, we've only had one that is at the 50th anniversary on his solo career, and we did get a remix, so I'm kind of expecting we might get another one too. That would be just a nice box set to get. Hopefully the prices aren't as crazy as the All Things Must Pass box was. Those prices were a little outrageous on that, but hopefully they'll keep it a little more in check. I guess it isn't a triple album quite like All Things Must Pass, so maybe that will help keep the cost down on its super deluxe version. But yeah, anyways, I think that wraps it up for the year in review and maybe what will come, the what if. But I just want to thank all my viewers for returning, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Do also hit the notification bell so you know when I got a new video coming out, and do give the video a like if you did like it. Also, please leave a comment. I do like having a discussion with everybody. I got a feeling this might have quite a bit of discussion topics based off of what I discussed here already. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it too. What do you think will happen? Do you think I got anything right? Do you think I got it completely wrong? I'm guessing completely wrong, but hey, we'll see. But anyways, I do want to get wrapping this up. I'm Beal Dustino, signing out.